Things in the Sheriff's Sit Down with the Mason County Sheriff Casey Salisbury.
Good morning.
How are you doing, sir?
Good. Great.
Good to see you. Weather's getting nice. And
I guess it was raining actually on the way down the hill
Was
by
it?
the log monument a minute ago. It's supposed to be real nice today,
but
but
to get outside more
clear
often.
up, you know?
that sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, the weekend was nice.
Yes,
Regardless.
it was.
You guys have been out and about making waves with the torch run and getting folks signed up and ready to go, and really excited for this coming up on Thursday the 31st. And
It's coming up quick. I got to get some more T-shirts sold.
I was going to say I got to start training.
Yeah, you can start training. I tell you, I would run a little bit if you're going to run that because the pavement's awful tough on you.
For sure. No, we are looking forward to it. Stephanie, my lovely wife, and I are excited to join in this year and be a part of this through, I think, the leg that comes from the high school out downtown to the yacht club. We'll jump in there or fast walk along, or we'll be a part of it somehow.
Yeah, they come. I think the Shelton's going to run. Shelton PD is going to run it from the high school down the hill to 7th and Railroad, I think.
Okay.
And then at 7th and Railroad, we'll run from 7th down to 1st. And then I think another group of Shelton PD officers will run it from 1st and Railroad out to the yacht club.
Yep.
And then that group will get in one of the boats from the Squaxin Police Department, and the boat's going to take that group up to I guess it would be the east side of the tribal property, and they'll run from east to west across the tribe.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
They'll come down over the hill and into the fight. That'll be one of the last legs, and into the casino,
Very
into the event center.
Yeah.
Is where we'll end up there. So that will be great.
Cool.
If you want to come out and join us out there, you're welcome to join us there as well.
Definitely.
However we can help, for sure. What else is going on with the sheriff's office? Nick's been reporting on some car involvement here this morning, along with sides with the folks from the Kitsap sheriff's office. So he's reporting on that, but some other things that the sheriff's office been up to over the last
Well, Friday, we had the opportunity to recommend Chief Fred Hickson a while back, and it was the work of Chief Dean Bird, Chief Ruster Hosterhout, and Chief Ryan Sperling. A guy by the name of Fred Hickson. His name went on the Law Enforcement Memorial Friday, and so we attended that memorial service for those law enforcement officers that have died in the line of duty, and a great turnout for that every year. And the governor came and spoke, and of course the names go on the memorial on this right by the Temple of Justice on the Capitol campus.
Yeah.
So if you've ever been by there, it's kind of an interesting place there. Overlooks the lake. It's a beautiful, beautiful place for it. So anyway, we attended that on Friday, and Chief Hickson's niece, I believe it is, was there with us to she accepted on behalf of their family.
Oh, cool.
And you might have seen we did an article, we did a story on King 5 where Chief interviewed his daughter, 93 years old, and we had a great day up there with her. She was pulling out pictures over 70 years old of Mason County and downtown Shelton.
Oh my goodness.
Real pictures of, it's just interesting to look at downtown.
Sure.
70 years ago, and some of it's exactly the same. Some of the buildings are exactly the same.
Right.
But she was able to recall people and locations in town that now some of them look a little bit different, but the buildings are still there. But you go back and recall when there was a number of automobile dealerships in town.
Yeah.
The town was really going and very self-supporting. You had everything here you needed. You didn't drive back and forth to Olympia all the time to get everything like you do now.
Yeah, for sure.
Good old days.
Everything was self-supporting, but those pictures, she had loads of pictures of our community from when she was a child here, over 70 years ago.
And the Hickson story, for those who were unfamiliar, he was a sheriff's office, and part of the sheriff's office, working at the courthouse, and he perished while on duty. But there was some question whether or not it was on duty or active duty, or it was a different distinctions.
Well, probably Chief Sperling would be able to explain it better, but he was on duty at the time, and kind of like it is now, you kind of do everything.
Yeah.
And the elevator in the courthouse wasn't working, and he was I think it was on a Saturday, but he was there on behalf of the sheriff's office working on the elevator.
Oh, trying to fix it or something.
And yeah, he fell down the elevator shaft on duty at the courthouse, the current courthouse. And so I don't know how long it was before they recovered him,
Wow.
but it was on duty.
Yeah.
And so that's in 1944.
So then what, I mean, was there some thought to how it's been so long before he's been recognized on the...
There hadn't been any thought was the problem, I guess.
Okay.
We've gone back with the help of Chief Byrd, interesting, at the sheriff's office. I've been to, of course, I worked with another sheriff's office for many years. And those organizations over the years kept track of their county's history, where ours really hasn't. There's some delays in time in our county's history that people didn't keep very good track of, and within county government and the sheriff's office as well. And so Chief Byrd has went back. He's kind of a historical gathering person, went back and gathered photographs and things through archives and put things together for the history of the sheriff's office.
Wow, that's so cool.
And other places within the county. And Dean, and there's a group of people that have worked at the old library or the historical society and gone through thousands and thousands of photographs to place things at the proper era, proper point in time, and they can tell by the vehicles and other people in the pictures and interviewing family members and things. And Dean was able to put some of that together, and then he and Chief Osterhout and Chief Sperling worked on this thing with Mr. Hickson, because he was one of the persons in that historical time that had just not been thought of, I guess, or it hadn't been
Now, is his
researched like that.
daughter, is she going to donate her pictures or
We-
to
we
the
were at-
library or something?
Oh,
I mean,
I don't know. We were
That
at
would be a
the
good
house.
idea.
She's 93 years old, and her recollection of Mason County was phenomenal to sit.
Really? I love that.
Perfect recollection. I mean, most of us can't remember what we did yesterday, and she's recalling the different buildings and who was in them and what families were here at the time and who they knew and that kind of thing, and then
Wow.
took out her own personal pictures and showed us some things in downtown Shelton and things when she was a little girl, what she remembered about that. So during that and through things like that, when Chief Byrd worked on that years ago, we were able to go back and recover some photographs mainly of the sheriff's office and put those together. But we're still missing a couple photographs of I think two of the sheriffs. We still don't have photographs for.
Oh, wow.
well, throw it out there. Maybe someone out
Maybe
there
somebody's
has
gotta
it.
have
I'd have to
something.
look up there and see which two.
Sure.
What
But
years was
I know
that,
that Dean
you
has
know?
put together a
Well, get
history.
Dean
of-
on. You guys... get
Yeah.
Dean on.
Yeah, he would be great, because
Been a
he's done a
while
lot
since
of
I
work
caught up
like
with
that,
him.
and his photography put
I
together
love
a
that
lot of
stuff,
things.
the history and stuff.
We had another interesting thing Friday, just because you're in the communications business. It was particularly interesting. A number of years ago, I was in Seattle with Lieutenant Governor Owen and met John McCaw Cellular. I don't know if you recall back far enough when McCaw Cellular they sold out to.
Well, no, the name is McCall Hall as well.
Yes, McCaw Hall. And so I met with Lieutenant Governor. I met one of the McCaw brothers. And then Friday, when we were at the memorial, I had a chance to sit down with Bruce McCaw, one of the other brothers in the telecommunications business. And it was interesting to talk to Bruce, and he was telling me about all the time that he spent out in Union, Washington, out on the Hood Canal and Union, Washington, and up and down.
Music and all that stuff?
Well, with their telecommunications business, they were setting up different places throughout the state for cellular stuff. And he was talking about right out in Union, where they started doing some
Wow.
work, and how he stayed out there quite a bit. And he was one of the salesmen for the company for his dad when they started. And then they went on to sell out for huge amounts of
little
money to
area
AT&T.
is so unique.
But the interesting piece behind that was to see that Mr. McCaw's involvement with law enforcement and the law enforcement memorial, and all the things that he's done with the Museum of Flight. I think it is. He was one of the founders there, and all, like you were talking about the McCaw music thing.
Yeah.
And I think that was dedicated to his mother or something. Anyway, interesting to talk about his connection in Mason County in the telecommunications business.
Yeah, strange.
And it's something to think about, what an active place this was at the
It's
time.
a big
I
history. Lots of
know.
fun history.
So
Very cool.